Yo, what is up? Oh, baby, everybody's drinking the Miami Kool-Aid, and I love it. I love it because it's showing me once again the levels of disrespect and how far people are willing to go to disrespect Alabama. We gonna go with the imposters. When we start doing that, when do we start going along with the imposters? College football do this. Miami was what, 5 wins a few years ago? They were like 5-7. The U has been a joke for like 20 something plus years. And all of a sudden, they get a new coach. Cristobal walks in, and it's like, oh, we've answered everything in the crystal ball. This has been several years in the country. We lost to Middle Tennessee State. How do we do that? Oh, it's very easy. Very easy. And it's going to happen again. Now, take for instance, Miami, one of the best teams in the nation, right? Last year, they went 13-3, lost to Indiana. They really was outmatched by Indiana. And the game shouldn't have been that close. They were outplayed and outmatched. And that quarterback wasn't what he was cranked up to be. But they got a lot of these one-and-done quarterbacks. So now, how did they change the game on us? They once again flipped the script. There's been a lot of that going on here. A lot of it. Miami has taken the Alabama blueprint and tried to make it their own. That's what they did, y'all. They took the Alabama blueprint and tried to build it in the ACC. Another copycat. That's what I call it. They've been trying, everybody over there trying to copy the SEC. They want to find out what's the secret sauce. Oh, we got to recruit better. We got to start building this thing from the offensive line. Something that the ACC don't care about. Now Miami wants to go get the offensive line together. Then they want to get the defense right. They try to do everything the SEC is known for. We known for the running game. The run before the pass. Because we stock up that offensive line. This is what they keep trying to deprive you of. Everybody I've told about it, seen it, and they understand it now. They say, okay, I get it. They stuck. They stuck in their own way. They like a turtle in the shell. Can't get out of their own way. There's no surprise either way on this side of the fence. That's because Alabama's schedule is designed to try to screw us up. Alabama's always going to have the toughest schedule every year. When has the SEC been garbage? But I'm glad they are all drinking this juice because they went and got the quarterback from Duke and they gave him his wide receiver. They're giving him the Joe Burrows treatment all over again so that they're going to say, oh, man, then we're going to put him with baby Jesus. Okay, good. You go there, put him with baby Jesus, and we're going to show you, okay, you got the high-powered offense. You stole our offensive line that we were recruiting. No problem. Okay. You're still in our blueprint. You're still in our offensive linemen that we want to have on the team. No problem. We see what they're doing here. Everybody want Miami to be the champions. We see how they playing this. They want to bring back, like they brought the Knicks back out of the dust and the dirt. They want to bring this team back around. I told you, Miami's going to have a 4 to 5 year run, and then they're done. But it was like digging up worms. All these old people that used to root for the U, now they back. It's the U, baby. I'm like, you haven't rooted for the U in about 30 years. Now Miami is activated. They are back. They got the Miami Heat. They got the Hurricanes. Miami is the place to be now. Okay. You got everything laid out for you. So I don't want to hear any excuses. Nah. Well, see, Miami, I know what the problems they're going to have. Miami's cornerbacks are going to be put to the test. That defensive line is going to be put to the test. We're going to see how good it really is. Because if they think Alabama is, oh my God, we got them 100 times over. Remember the guy that came from Georgia? What's his name? Samson Acuna Lala, whatever. They grabbed him. Oh, who was that? No, Jamal Merriweather, I think. He the one came over. He was the transfer that came over from Georgia. That's who the Hurricanes got. And then they took Jackson Cantwell. They took Cantwell away from Alabama. So instead of going to Alabama, he wants to go to Miami. Really? Yeah, he was one of the top freshmen offensive line. He's about 6'8", over 330. You know, that's the kind of guy I want on the offensive line for Alabama. It would have been Jackson Cantwell would have fit perfect with what we was doing coming in as a freshman, except no substitute. Michigan or nothing. Well, then I guess it's nothing because Michigan is done. Michigan, I can't even see Michigan. I don't know. Michigan had lost like everything they didn't have. Where they gonna be in contention at? They got Alabama ranked 13th out of the top 10. How are we gonna be out of the top 10? That don't even make sense. This is the first time in like 17 years, I think they got us ranked outside of the top 10. The Big Ten is dead. It's only Indiana is the only team I really respect. And the way they ranked Indiana this year was like they still don't believe. I'm like, y'all believe in this Oregon crap. And I'm like, Oregon's a good team, but when they went up against a team that was better than them, which was Indiana defensively, Indiana had them in check. Ohio State, Indiana, no problem. I mean, Oregon, no problem. They went 3-0 against them last year. I told you what I think about them. They're a solid team. They put together well, but they went and grabbed a microwave quarterback from Duke and got his wide receiver. They're trying to pretty much buy a championship game. They want to go perfect. So they want to put all the horses, everybody in there so they can just come on in. We got all the horses here. Let's go ahead and pull this wagon to victory. You know I'm against corruption 100%. And when I see what they're doing to Alabama, giving Miami all of this bullshit, and everybody sleep at the wheel thinking, oh, well, they're done. Alabama's done. I'm like, we done? Okay. 13? Okay. We gonna lose 3 games? Okay. I'm just like, all right, we're gonna see. It's gonna be real soon. It won't take long at all. Now, when we go 5-0, then we're going to get everybody's attention. Beating East Carolina is not going to do anything for us. It's just going to get us all revved up for what we're going to see in the rest of the season. Right? The real test going to be Kentucky. That's the one that's going to let people know where we stand. But they're going to say, well, you're supposed to beat Kentucky. No problem. We're 2-0. Then we're going to play Florida State. Aha. Now, once we play Florida State, that's when everybody's going to be attention because we're going to beat the hell out of Florida State. We're going to be 3-0. They're going to say, well, you're supposed to beat them. It's Florida State. You shouldn't have lost to them last year. How do you lose to Florida State? Right? So we know what they're going to say. Then it's going to flip again. as it usually does, it's going to flip. Take another turn. Soon as Alabama, sorry, I got this thing here. Almost knocked everything over. Soon as Alabama goes, oh yeah, Bama's gonna go 3-0. Everybody's gonna say, y'all are gonna lose to South Carolina. That's when you're gonna start hearing it. South Carolina gonna beat y'all. South Carolina is tough. South Carolina gonna beat y'all. That's when we first gonna hear it, when we're 3-0. Then when we beat South Carolina, they're gonna be like, okay, they 4-0, but they got Mississippi State. Mississippi State might get them a run and give them a scare. We're gonna beat Mississippi State. We're gonna be 5-0. They still gonna think we're a joke. And they're gonna say, well, they gotta play Georgia now. This is where Alabama finna get their first loss. Georgia has not beat Alabama in the regular season games since Matthew Stafford days. Matthew Stafford was there the last time they beat Alabama in the regular season. We can handle Georgia. I don't see Georgia beating Alabama. Now they got Tennessee. A lot of people got us losing to Tennessee. Once again, I scratch my head and go, how? How, Sway? I don't see how we lose to Tennessee. That doesn't even make sense. Definitely not to me. But they got us losing to Tennessee. All right. Once we smoke Tennessee, everybody's going to pick Texas A&M. Oh, you're not beating A&M. Texas A&M that had lost majority of all the players that made Texas A&M what they were last season. And all these guys that stepped up on A&M now, that's going to take the helm. That's going to change everything around, huh? How, Sway? Then everybody in the world had written us off against LSU. Even Alabama fans. Alabama fans got us losing to LSU, a team I think we could smash. LSU is another team that then lost a lot of players from last year. Vanderbilt. I'm more of that game to me. The Vandy game gives me more concern than LSU. We'll beat Vanderbilt. They shouldn't have beat us last year, but the reason they only won that game was because we didn't have a quarterback. That's just, we weren't ready. We'll beat Chattanooga and Auburn. I'm not worried about those two. So really, the Georgia game and the Vanderbilt game are the only two games I see that should be like, okay, let's see. Georgia, Vanderbilt, those will be tough. But I don't see a threat on the board. I don't really see two losses. I don't see us losing to Tennessee. I don't see us losing to LSU at all. And I think the whole paradigm is going to shift by the time we get to those games. How are we going to lose to Georgia and we haven't lost to them in the regular season, as I told you, since Matthew Stafford? Well, let's take a closer look into it, though. That's what I want to explore. I want to explore the closer look. So let's get to the closer look. I see what you're saying, but let's get to that. The Oregon Ducks. Duck Nation in the building. The Ducks always choke. The Ducks always blow it. They get to the playoffs and they blow it. Every year, the Ducks got a great team and they blow it. They always have a good offensive team, but they find a way to blow it defensively. Then they offense let them down. When they went up against Indiana, Indiana showed you what Oregon really was. Nothing. They all flash. And they got them ranked over Indiana. How, Sway? They still writing Indiana off. Nah, that don't bother me as much as everybody might think it does. It don't bother me one bit. We'll be all right. Now, I'm saying Keelan Russell should play starting quarterback over Mac. I think they'll solve this quarterback controversy thing at the end before this thing starts. Because if you don't play Russell, you risk losing him anyway next year. He might transfer, go someplace else. You know, it's like let Russell play now in case he leave. You know, Austin Mack, you can still have him. Well, we get to see what Brooks do. You know, I want to see what he does at wide receiver, but I'm more wanting to see what Jackson Lloyd is going to do because the offensive line has got to improve. That's what crushed Alabama last year. Is the offensive line was crap. They played terrible. Yeah, you can't protect the quarterback. You don't really know what you got, right? No, I'm not worried about any of these other teams. No. Look at LSU, right? They keep kissing their ass. They just lost 37 players to the transfer portal this year and in the draft. 37. They got one wide receiver coming back. They lost 37, and they still got LSU ranked up there like they're a monster. Them LSU then lost 37 and Texas A&M. I'm like, see, people are just concerned about the name. LSU is not this monster. So they're a question mark. So now the NFL just launched this new rule saying that the judge said it's okay for ex-NFL players to go back to college. That's going to mess the game up way worse than it's ever been. Now you got 19, 18-year-old kids got to go up against a 37-year-old grown man. Yeah, come on, baby. I got another shot, baby. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Now you get to go back to college and play for the damn team? Where they do this at? All this is doing is messing up college football. That is going to ruin the game. Yeah, you lose all those players, though. It's like they just lost. What is that going to do for the rest of the teams? Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at Texas A&M. How many players did they lose last year? That's what I want to know. Yeah, I knew they lost a lot going in from watching the draft. Yeah, they got 10 drafted players in the NFL. So when you start seeing that draft and it was Texas A&M, I said, oh, Texas A&M, they finna be depleted next year. But yeah, what do they rank them? Right up there. I'm like, okay. Texas A&M, they have no defense, but yet they ready for Alabama. Okay. Last season they did this. Well, that's last season. I'm worried about this year. So they got what's his name, Isaiah Horton, that used to be with us, goddamn traitor, and he got added to the mix. Now they was like, okay, we got Alabama's Isaiah Horton over here. Good, keep him. Keep his traitor ass right where he wanted to be. You want to transfer? Good. Get your ass up out of here, Horton. All right, go to A&M. What you think you're gonna do? Tell A&M all our plays? You can know what everybody do on the team. Can the guy on your team stop it? That's the question. Can he stop it from happening? No, then sorry to hear about it. It's not gonna happen. You ain't changing nothing, buddy. Can't stop a cold. Ohio State. See, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all get caught up into these names. Ohio State. Did you see what happened to Ohio State against Indiana's better than them? I'm not saying Ohio State isn't anything. I'm just saying, as far as them being a champion and all that, like they're gonna be number one, number two. They're in the Big Ten, so they gonna automatically be in contention. Michigan isn't nothing. They got Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio State. Other than that, what else they got in the Big Ten? I respect the Big Ten more than the ACC. Yeah, in football, no. Well, y'all want to talk about what? Their wide receiver core? No, they're a running back team. They're heavy on defense and run. They recruited that what's that guy? Gilliford from Fort Wayne, Indiana. The rookie wide receiver. He should get some snaps. But they don't impress me. Matthews Jr. is weak as a cornerback. He can be exploited. Indiana exploited him. Yeah, well, it's typical. It's the same old, same old. And that Julian saying, I don't trust him. He wanted to play for us, but no, he wanted to be an Alabama quarterback, but because he's from Alabama. But nah. Oh, Miles Lockhart. Yeah, yeah. Miles Lockhart is good, but he's 5'9". He's 5'9". You throw right over him. But he's a good corner, good CB. Yeah, Ohio State is good for having linebackers. You know, they got good linebackers. I like TJ. He gonna be all right. But Ohio State don't scare me at all. It's like I don't even really see what people are seeing in them. I'm like, have y'all seen Indiana? That's a scary roster. I don't know how they get written off like this. I'm like, man, why are they writing them off? Grant Wilson don't have to be everything. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, look at the defense. That Baldwin Jr. out there as a sophomore. I'm like, look at that. You got Turbo out there as the running back. I was like, man, okay. Farrell, he finna get drafted this year. Amari Farrell, he's gonna be gone. Him and Carson Wilson. Davion Chandler, yeah, he just short. You know, the thing is, Davion Chandler is like a burner. He's fast. He can take off, but he's just short. There's nothing he can do about it. They got them short, wide receivers in the Big Ten. No, LeBron Bond, we're going to see if he gotten any better from last year. But this team, man, it's time to step up from these dudes and these young guys that they got on the team. But I'm more looking at a team that people don't be looking at, like Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? Like that football team to me is more impressive or threatening. And I'm like, well, we'll beat Vanderbilt. I mean, we know how to beat Vanderbilt, but I'm more impressed with how they play the game. They play like a team that feel like we better than you. I love that. They got the two Houston. Well, no, the quarterback is from Houston, but what was his name? Sellers from Vandy. He had that record game against us. Don't expect to see all that fluke shit next game. A lot of them roll out the red carpet for bums. This is hilarious. Go Canes. Well, yeah, I'll be saying go Canes, but you got no excuse. If the Canes lose this year, I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't want to hear about the Canes no more. For real, they done. I don't want to hear nothing about it. November the 7th, the Canes will get destroyed. Hey, Alabama go beat all these dudes. And y'all go see all these teams go get smacked up by Alabama. I can't wait to the playoffs. They cried last year. I didn't really want us to go to the playoffs, but look, it's strength of schedule. Florida State do not play a tougher schedule than Alabama. Alabama's going to be there. If they lose 2 games, they in there. They going to be in the playoffs. Well, you want to make sure you're doing everything possible that you could do to I just got the alert that Russell is named QB1. I mean, it's obvious. Why was that even? Keelan Russell should have definitely been number 1, period, for Alabama. He's our QB1. Everything else don't make sense. Well, this is Kalen's year. It's either make or break. He's got no more excuses. It's no more Nick Saban guys. This is all his guys. And okay, Keelan Russell is now the starter. He won the job. I don't see how this would have been hard anyway, but what Keelan Russell is going to do is destroy the entire league. And he's going to be out. He's going to be one and done. And this will start the Alabama trend of one and done quarterbacks. If he do what I think he's going to do in his rookie year, he's going to be gone. If he got the consistency through the year, he's one of the most exciting players they had in recent years. So if you want to stay all the way to the end, like 3 years to really develop himself, and that's why I think these quarterbacks, they're failing themselves, leaving for school so quick. One and done quarterbacks, that should never happen in football. Because you haven't seen everybody, you haven't seen all the defensive schemes. I think you need to see all that before you go to the draft. You got all these players who don't know the game really. No. It's not that I hate Michigan. It's not even a hate factor in my body. It's just that Michigan is not that good. Oh yeah. So if you look at the Michigan team, look, think about what happened with the coach, right? Sharon Moore gone for domestic home invasion, whatever you want to call, messing with the white girl for another white girl. All of that went on, right? And the team persevered anyway. Right after the sign stealing operation, then you got, what's that, offensive coordinator? Was it Mike Wise? He got federally indicted for accessing private accounts and all this. Like, dog, listen, Michigan is a whole problem. There is always an investigation going on in Michigan athletics. So I'm telling you, Michigan, don't even think about Michigan this year. They're like, that's just typical Michigan stuff, man. They don't mean nothing. We do that every day. We ain't got nothing to do with the game. We know what to do. Oh man! So of course they strength the schedule. They got to play Western Michigan. They'll beat them, and it's just I don't trust Underwood as quarterback. You do? Oh man, I remember, wasn't it Channing Goodwin? Remember that guy, the wide receiver, who's the star making all those catches in fall camp last year? So now he's going to be a starter this year. So we're going to see what happens. So he's a question mark. Yeah, but when he got in the game last year, you know why y'all lost? Remember he had all those drops? So we'll see now that he's a starter this year. A guy that's with drops. Same thing I told y'all about CD Lamb. Right? CD Lamb, can he hold on to the ball? CD gonna catch all this. He's leading the league in drops. Like, what, 2-3 years in a row, CD Lamb is in the top of drops. That's how they roll these. Man, I keep telling you, these people always put it in perspective. I hate Michigan. The thing about Michigan is this. Now I'm hating on CD Lamb. You should be hating on CD Lamb. Why would you be rooting for CD Lamb? That your problem is CD Lamb. Right. I mean, that's Alabama football. You know, that Derrick Henry. We need to go back to the Derrick Henry days. Offensive line, running the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage, blowing guys off the ball. Everybody wants to be a passing league now. You don't have to be Nick Saban to win a championship, but they want to buy the championship from Miami, which makes me hate Miami even more. Oh, you're not buying a championship on my watch. So yeah, they don't like to send out notifications when I talk about college football. So yeah, you got to pay attention. That's why I told y'all to join my Patreon, so y'all can see when y'all get any alerts. Y'all know what time it is. First of all, Pickens, he gonna be off the team. They franchise tagged him, so you know he ain't gonna be too happy about that. He got his guaranteed money, but now you got to pay Pickens. Y'all gonna be in the same position, and you still got Dak. This is it, I mean, Dallas. If they don't win it this year, the whole team got to get split up. Because now it's time to pay everybody. You know, already overpaid Dak. You didn't overpaid everybody. And if you don't win it this year, the run's over. Because everybody in the North is better than you. Every team. The Lions are better than you. Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit. That's the division. You're going to have like 3 teams in that division go into the playoffs. It's always one team or maybe 2 go into the playoffs in your division. Y'all got the Giants, Washington, Cowboys, and Philly. That's it. You and Philly fighting every year. So that whole division has been trash for years. And Dallas still couldn't get it done. They can't even make a championship game. So anyway, yeah, we'll get back to this a little later. I knew Tony wasn't going to make it because they ain't get a notification. So I told them to check back an hour. We was going live. That's why I told them to make sure they get the Patreon. So it's no excuse. They would have been notified. But I'm out.